A Pochade art box is something that you use to paint when you're out traveling as a mobile studio. But it's also something that I'd highly recommend if you're working in a very small, compact studio space, or if you're working on, say, the dining room table and you need to be able to pack everything away at the end of your painting session really quickly and easily. As you can see from my box, I've used mine a lot. I use it every time we go away camping, and I like to do painting. But I've also used it when I, for example, just need to nip into the garden and do something, and I don't want to just have to pack everything with me, and it's a laborious task. I know that everything's in here ready to go, which is really super convenient. The Pochade art box comes in two main sections. One is the drawer at the bottom, which you can have one wide section for your brushes and your paints and your clips and bits like that. I've got my masking tape in here, sketchbooks, bits of acrylic painting paper, my travel watercolour thing, and there's lots of room in there. And the top section, which as you can see lifts up and it becomes a table easel, which is really amazing. It has the paint mixing section here, and as you can see, I'm a very messy artist, but this is where a really nice big painting palette where I mix all my colours. But the best thing about the Pochade box is that it classes as a drying rack as well as a table easel. So you can see it's got these sections here. And I use it for three things really. So there's a bit of space at the back, which I use for spare acrylic paper. Got 3 sheets in there, but I could easily fit at least 10 sheets. Or you could use canvas boards. You couldn't fit, you could probably fit one actual canvas in there if it was smaller, if it sort of sat in the middle, but it's designed for using with canvas boards really. So you can, for example, put your back board in, stick your painting paper, if you're using paper, onto it. You can do that painting, and then if you wanted to do a second painting, you can slide your second board in, and it actually keeps the two paintings separate because there's a space in the middle. And then you can do your second painting, so you can get 2 paintings done at the same time on the same easel. And as soon as you're finished, you can close the lid flat, and it won't, because there's another space there, it won't touch this area here. So you can close it off, and it'll keep the paintings, give them a bit of space to dry. So as soon as you finish painting, you just close the lid and you're done. If you use tubes of paint, there's lots of room to put the tubes of paint in the drawer, but I tend to buy big containers of acrylic, sort of 500ml containers of acrylic paint, just because it's more economical that way. So I get these little food containers, these little plastic tubs, and I put my colours in there, and I can fit them in the drawers, and they keep drying here. You know, they've got tight fitting lids, so they keep drying here for weeks actually. And I use a very limited colour palette, so I generally get away with, well, even in my studio I only use 7 colours on the whole. So when I'm travelling, I can usually get away with about 5 colours. That's enough for me, so it means that I'm not having to lug and prepare lots of different stuff. The only additional thing that you need is a water container to clean your brushes. But again, when I'm painting, especially when I'm painting on plein air, I don't tend to use a lot of water. I don't water the mixes down quite a lot. I work, I guess, quite impasto, wet on wet technique. So I'm not using a lot of water in my mixes, which really helps with a mobile setup. But of course, you do need to wash your brushes after. But any water bottle with a screw top lid that you can wash your brushes in would be fine. So that's my Pochade art box. Oh, it does have, of course, a little strap to keep it closed. It has a handle on the back, and it also has a shoulder strap. I just think it's so useful. It looks great. It feels good when you get it out. When I get it out and I'm out and about and I open up the tablies, I just instantly feel like an artist, which is always a good feeling. It's a storage caddy as well, and it's quite reasonably priced. It's not too expensive. So that's my recommendation for you if you want to start painting while you're out and about, or if you want to start painting and you're working in a very confined space. I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you did, give me a like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.